Fallout 76 released on November 14th to a mix of negative and somewhat positive and optimistic praise. That may be why you're here, so let's dive into Should You Buy in 5, Fallout 76. Fallout 76 is a new branch in the Fallout universe and a new development challenge for Bethesda as a whole. 76 sets players in the desolate, radiated backyard of the Appalachians of West Virginia. Similar to all Bethesda Fallout predecessor games, survival is a challenge paved with intense combat, struggle, and junk, like hordes of the shit. However, it is important to note right away, especially to get the most enjoyment from this title, Fallout 76 is a survival MMO. What I mean to say is that this is a survival game based in the Fallout universe. While always present in its predecessors, survival takes the forefront in Fallout 76 as the character management is a crucial system that needs consistent maintenance as you travel. The player manages hunger and thirst like most survival titles, but this is Fallout, baby. You need to look out for them rads. Radiation plays a much more unique role in 76 in the fact that enough rads leads to mutation. Mutation is probably one of the most enticing new features in 76. Typically, mutations will be a balancing act, some benefits will be gained, but more often, you'll be negatively impacted. Another new feature is disease management. Traveling the grimy world, you'll encounter armies of disease enemies that are looking to get in close and pass their infections like a cheap highway motel. Most of the diseases have hilarious titles, my favorite being Flap Limb. There really is no benefit to disease, so cure yourself as quickly as you can. 76 also introduces a new camp system, a partially permanent but mostly mobile camp system that you can build anywhere that you travel throughout the Appalachia. While well intended, has helped support the idea of a lack of permanence in the world, as your camp cannot be built next to another player, as well as the fact that when you leave the server, your camp leaves as well. The biggest and most distinct new feature of 76 is playing with the boys. Traverse this massive map with your companions as you all work to disarm or engage nukes, explore unique locations left from the Fallout, join factions of other boys, loot and kill together. Everything is much better together. Except, it really isn't. While 76's multiplayer has a novelty to it, the lack of permanence and actions taken as a group really dampens the experience, and the fact that players can't help friends in early missions outright sucks. Especially when you consider the arbitrary leveling system. I say it's arbitrary because I am level 31 as of writing this review, yet level 4 super mutants can wreck me just as bad as level 28 ones. I also feel like I should be doing more damage to weaker enemies, but the way the game is currently balanced, I've killed level 35 enemies easier than I have groups of level 4 enemies. If the enemies are already powerhouses, who cares if I help a newer group member knock out questing and get to endgame? I also hope there's a tweak to the way skill points work. I enjoy the perk cards, but in a way, the randomization of getting perk card packs and subsequently random perks, I feel the game is bottlenecking my power even though I'm growing rapidly. For a Bethesda title, this has easily been one of the smoothest launches in their history. While there's some critical bugs, most of the glitches and bugs I've experienced are hilarious and or just really nightmare feel. I'd say that the overall gameplay experience feels exactly like a Fallout game. The guns feel the same. Some hit detection is a little off. I'm personally experiencing a problem with the VATS, but when it works, it's great. When it doesn't, it's garbage. I also feel the streamlined crafting system is a little lame. There's a wealth of things to craft in terms of food and items, but I feel the robust crafting in Fallout 4 has been replaced with a basic system of weapon mods that hardly change the effectiveness of your weapons. I feel it's just another factor of bottlenecking that I hope to see go away as I get even more hours under my belt, or as Bethesda rolls out more updates. Fallout 76 graphically looks as good, if not a little better, than Fallout 4. The game doesn't look bad by any standard, but Bethesda titles always look like the final render has a layer of dust over them. Totally a personal opinion. All things considered, the unique buildings and dungeons are awesome, and each location relatively has its own identity, and the enemy models seem to be on point. I think it's important to note that, considering that the environment in between all unique locations looks 100% the same everywhere you go. Fallout 76 still contains some of the key elements I love, such as lore finding through terminals, documents, holotapes, etc., but it has streamlined the content to seem very inclusive to 76. Not only does the game kind of stamp on the series' own lore, but the game does not even justify it with a wealth of characters who seem to embody the madness and worldviews present in the game. It's rare for me to play a game that does have a story, but the narrative elements that fill the story are totally absent. I think it's important to take all of this information in context that this is opening week and a half for Fallout 76. Many quality of life changes are coming, but as it stands, Fallout 76 is a title that you can definitely wait on if you're on the fence. I think it's fun as it exists in a Fallout universe, but as it stands, it's a bare-bones experience that is filling when played with friends, but the novelty wears off fast with a lack of narrative direction and repetitive environmental traversal without much to do in between the enthralling dungeons and unique locations.